Hello everyone, welcome back to Minecraft Ideas. This time we're gonna look at some good old pathways. This time I also try to do a little team, so we're gonna tackle every element that's out here, starting with fire. Fire, of course, being the nether. This pathway is a very simple pathway with a farmland on the left, in a very nether style like farmland with the netherward and soul sand. Some bone as well. You can switch up some soul sand with soul. So just a weird word, soul. But yeah, you can switch it off. We have it more texture here and there. And on the right we have more the ward elements with the warped stem, the warped grass, warped roots. And as you can see, you can also add some twisting vines here and there for more texture and more stuff that's going on, but be careful you use bone meal because these things grow like crazy. Like even we're using one bone meal is enough for sometimes 5 extra sections of this, so you might have to cut some down sometimes. So that's pretty much it. The road itself is a combination of all kind of nether bricks and nether wart, crimson nylium, with also some concrete powder. Be careful with using wood because wood is very flammable and the nether is, well, one big fire pit. So be careful if you use that. I also add some glass here and there in the wall and give it more variation. But all by all, it's a very simple pathway, but that's something you really want in a pathway, isn't it? You don't want your pathway to be extra complex. It tends to take like forever to make a pathway complete. So I try to do some easy paths which don't take too long to make. And this is how this pathway will look like at night. If you use it in the overworld, in the nether it's of course always light, so you will just see it as you saw it when it was day. Then next up we come to our earth element, and this earth element style pathway is just a very Japanese or Chinese or one of these Asian pathways with the typical red archways and red roofing. So this pathway can also be extended for a very long time. You can make a middle, like a crossroad, and then go to the right or left, or you can even bend it a little bit. The building itself is, as you can see, very red with quartz on the top. That's the barrier, with quartz on the top and carpet on top of that, with red pillars which goes into a red roof. I tried to do some shading, but mangrove stairs is very hard to texture in my opinion, as there are not that many blocks to go well with that. So I tried to use some crimson stairs here and there to get some more darkening effect, and I tried to have some cuts here and there by using the stairs on a different angle. Try not to overdo it, as then you just have a big hole in your roof and that's not something you want. Then from the inside I use some acacia trapdoors here and there to add some grid effect, and also some lightning rods to, just an extra nice detail that you can add, and it really adds to the entire build. The lightning is on top of the pillar, a horizontal pillar, and should give enough light for your pathway. If you want even more light, you can obviously maybe hang some lanterns here and there. If you like that more, then you can do that. But in my opinion, this should be enough. Then beside the pathway I also use some side areas with kind of like a zoo. Like, in the zoo you sometimes also have a pathway, and then from one side you see the pandas, and the other side you see other animals. It adds some salmons which have to serve as kois in this case, and they can swim underneath the bridge, which also gives a very nice effect to its entire build. But yeah, both sides is very natural, some bamboo forest, some rocks, and a riverbed with some limestone rocks, which makes it look a lot more natural. Makes it very nice to look at if you run through this zone and you can see all the animals from one side or the other side, or you have like a very green area from one side to the other side. It's just very lovely to run through. And this is how it looks like at night. As I said, it should be enough light for mobs to stop spawning. I'll check for you. We got a client light of 11, 9, 11. Yeah, look at that. Don't even get that low. So it should be enough to stop monsters from spawning. Then for our next pathway, we'll look over here at our clouds. Yeah, these are small little clouds which you maybe could use for your air base. Let's say you have a base very high up in the air and you want to have other skylands here and there, then this pathway could be excellent. But between your builds, you could use trapdoors to connect these clouds. As you can see, these clouds are, well, they're kind of connected, but let's say this thing is not here, then they're not connected. So you could use trapdoors as a bridge in between the clouds, or you could just put the clouds very close together. So yeah, there's nothing really that much going on for the cloud itself. Here's some calcite, white stained glass, gray stained glass, some more light gray wool and white wool, and some carpet on top to show where the path is. So you can even expand your cloud and use the carpet as a pathway to indicate where the path starts and where the path ends. Then for lightning, and try to do something, well, try to do some little funny stuff with the brewing stand as a stand. Well, well, yeah, of course, as a stand, as it's in the name. But also as a top part, so and in the middle an end rod for extra lightning, as the soul lantern doesn't really give that much lightning, but it's a very nice detail in the clouds that you have a light blue lightning instead of the normal lanterns which are orange. Other than that, the lantern is pretty easy with trapdoors and fence gates and a stair. Just some very easy design, and of course every lantern also stands on its own little cloud. I tried to use a beacon before, but I kind of forgot that you need the beacon to like hit the sky. Tried to have like a beacon and on top of that like a block, but then the beacon just stops working, so yeah, it's kind of sad. And this is how our little pathway looks like at night. Pretty much very well lit up. I think it barely goes below 7. Well, this one goes to 4, but that's because there's no lantern on this side. But if you look closer, it's 7, 8, 7, 8, 7. Yeah, so it's not that bad. Like monsters these days only spawn at 0, so this should be enough to keep your path mob free. And for last pathway design, I tried to do something fancy. Everyone wants to build underwater. Just the thought of having an underwater base is just so amazing to me. But the problem is that it just never works, right? It's so annoying to make it work. So this thing kinda connects one base with another base, or maybe you have indeed an underwater city. You actually committed to it and you did it. You actually made an underwater city. Then this kind of pathway could work very well. I tried to do some kind of submarine vibe as well, some steampunk submarine vibe, and I think I did it pretty well. Let's first look at the inside before we look at the outside. The inside is actually pretty easy. I tried to use some dripstone blocks and wax exposed copper as a flooring, and it gives you some wet flooring vibe, as you probably have some leakage here and there, or some people running through it with wet boots. So you have a wet flooring, and I think this does the job perfectly well. Then we have some stuff for the first foundation flooring, which also works very well in my opinion, to kind of break this brown with this brown. If I didn't put stuff there, I think it would be a little bit too much brown. And the tuff also kind of makes sure that the floor doesn't mend into the walls, because that won't be that good. And I try to add some copper wherever there is a border, or wherever there is a corner rather. So that way the glass doesn't just float into nothingness. This way the glass looks very stern. It looks like it's been connected to the copper and is sturdy enough to withstand all the pressure from outside. Then one final part, we already saw it, but it's a trapdoor on the roofing. That way you can also look outside and look at what's going on above you without it looking like it could crush any second. So that's that from the inside. Now let's take a small look at from the outside. I tried to add some fish, but these fish have a very weird AI. For some reason they all want to go to the top and then they get stuck on each other for some reason. It's very weird, but let's just ignore the fish for now. And let's look at how it looks from the outside. Try to add some corals here and there to show that, well, you know, in nature, in the oceans, corals always go on top of man-made materials like some concrete or anything else. So I try to add some corals here and there to the build, some fan corals, because those are the only ones that I can actually connect to a build sideways. and also try to mimic some of the warm ocean corals that we see in Minecraft itself. Try to maybe try to have some big ass corals that go all the way around, and some sea pickles here and there for more light on the flooring. Basically, just a warm ocean biome in Minecraft, but then more of a personalized coral reef. Yeah, then we also have some electrical parts here and there, as you can see, and ventilation parts as pipeway over here, to make sure there's still oxygen inside the tube and that you won't suffocate. It's very useful. And this is how it looks like at night. As you can see, both the ocean and the pathway gives a lot of light, but the lamps also help from the outside. This is how it looks like from the inside. It's very, very light, and the ocean itself, well, don't really matter that much, but it's lit up pretty good as well. So that was that. That's the 4 pathways I wanted to show you. I hope you have some inspiration from all of this, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.